my slide?
I said you suck.
Oh, I mean, either way. All right. It says we are live. Hopefully, yeah, you guys are getting us here. Welcome to the News 19 Nerds. What's up, Internet World? We're here.
I don't know if we're on.
I think we're on.
I don't believe you.
It says we're live. I'm Michael. Who are you?
I will not say who I am until I confirm that we're actually live. Because the last time you did this, there was no audio, so there's no need for me to be talking.
I mean, true. Well, I put one of your maneuvers and didn't check everything at first.
Oh, that is not one of my maneuvers, sir.
I mean, it was at first. The first couple times you did this, we didn't have any audio.
That's because I didn't know what I was doing.
I pulled one of your maneuvers.
There's a difference. You know what you're doing.
I don't. I just make it look like I do.
So, according to the thing, I see Eric Navarro, Rayshawn K.
Yeah.
You're live, IMAX says, so hopefully you guys can hear us.
Yeah, they can hear us.
How do you know that?
Because I got the audio fixed this time.
I don't see no audio over there.
Yeah, you do.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. You might need to fix your prescription. Because I definitely see it
Oh,
moving.
that thing is small, man.
Yeah.
All right, what's up, guys? I'm Leroy.
You kick us off. What are we talking about? I always talk about what are we talking about?
I don't want to. I'm sad now.
What are you sad for?
You know why.
Ain't no reason to be sad.
I can be sad if I want to be sad. These are my feelings.
Y'all, Leroy going through some stuff. Y'all can ask.
Why am I going through some stuff?
I don't know. You tell me.
You tell the people why am I sad.
I don't know. We talking about DC FanDome.
You not gonna tell them?
We talking about.
You not gonna tell them?
What else we talking about?
You not gonna tell them for real?
What else we talking about? Ain't nothing to talk about.
Yes, it is, man.
How? Why? It don't change.
It does, man. It
Not
does
for
change.
them. She's still gonna be here when the internet works. Today, the internet ain't working.
That's not what I'm talking about, man.
So I mean, ain't that changing?
I mean, but still though.
You got something you want to say off your chest?
I don't know if it's my place to tell.
Well then, okay. Fantastic. We're talking about DC FanDome. We're talking about popular 80s action stars. And what was the other thing you want to talk about?
It's not popular 80s action stars, but movies reopening. I want to talk about, do we even have action stars anymore? Like we did.
Y'all see how I did them? How I got to tell y'all what it is? There we go. Good. Where are we starting first?
Can y'all see that? Can y'all see that?
Where are we starting first?
Let's start with DC.
Okay. You're the comic man. Why do I care about FanDome?
It's not about comics. It's not
Also,
all about comics.
Is that a good name? FanDome? Like, because FanDome just seems so much easier, right? And I get it.
But they couldn't use
the
FanDome.
idea. Oh, because somebody has FanDome?
Yeah, that's somebody's actual name.
But you can say DC FanDome, right?
Yeah, but if you already have a YouTube channel called Fandom Entertainment, and people already have,
Right.
I mean DC. I mean, I guess I also think that a lot of these companies are slack with branding and like making sure their world's all encompassing and making sure there's a one-stop shop. But DC FanDome is tomorrow. There's an update.
Every time.
Yeah, because you a dum-dum.
Shut up.
So there's been an update that's going to split up into 2 days. August the 22nd is one day, and there's a whole bunch of events scheduled, lined up. And then there's another one in September the, let me get the date right. It was right here. 12th, there it is, September the 12th. So we got one. So they split it up. They put it on 2 different days. Which I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm okay with that. A lot of people were upset that they split it up on 2 different days. I personally think they split it up 2 different days far out because I think there's some stuff that they had that wasn't finished cooking, and they couldn't go live with it. So they're like, let's give it a couple of weeks. So they paired certain things up. We can go live with this now, go live with this stuff later on.
Here's my theory about why they split it up.
What?
Because nobody wants to watch 24 hours live of coverage and miss stuff. I think that was a crazy idea. Like, it sounds great. Oh, we're going to have completely new stuff for 24 hours. I think that's a lot of stuff that people are going to miss.
See, this is the problem that I have with all of this,
Uh-huh.
and I think this is a great idea for 24 hours.
Uh-huh.
I think it's a brilliant idea. This is the problem I have with it, and I said the problem starts with the branding. It starts with FanDome. Put it on HBO Max. That the way this is being run is the dumbest thing in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And I don't know all the logistics and I don't know why, but if your whole idea is to hype Warner Brothers, hype your DC fandom up, create this all-encompassing universe that covers comics, video games, movies, television, bringing in kids, you actually have an entire freaking platform.
Yeah.
That has all of these things on it. You're getting away from DC Universe. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna find out what that is. Fold it all into HBO Max and say if you want to watch DC Dome or DC FanDome, whatever it's called,
yeah,
put it on HBO Max. Get people to sign up.
So
this is like
I agree with that.
Why do I not have a marketing job?
Is there a devil's advocate thing to this side of saying, well, at least it's free for everybody?
It's free, but this is the thing.
So is that cool?
This is the thing. You're a business. You want people to subscribe. You want people to sign up. You want people to know what's the best way to hype up your brand new app that came out this year. Mm-hmm. Than saying all of this shit is going to be on our app.
I mean, I feel like what they could have done in order to give you a free thing is maybe... Because is there a trial period for HBO Max like other stuff?
I think so, but it might have already run out. Because Disney's already has. Okay. Disney's trial is gone. Like, you can't do a 7-day trial.
See, I wonder if they do something for HBO Max for new people. It'd be like, right now, as part of this whole 24 hours, make it free for 24 hours.
But see, this is the thing. I would even have made it free. You're a business. Mm-hmm. You have, and in the chat, people are talking about it. Baby Boo 2 is talking about The Batman. And Ray Sean Case says, put it all on HBO Max for a week, then put it all on YouTube after that. I'm like this. Don't even put it on YouTube. Your job is to hype up your brand, your product. You are in competition against every other streaming platform. You're in competition with Disney. Mm-hmm. You're in competition with Marvel. You're in competition with Universal Studios, Sony. Your goal is to get as many eyeballs on this as possible, mm-hmm. while promoting your streaming platform and explaining to us what's going to happen in DC Universe. Now, this may all be for naught, and there may be a reason why they couldn't do it this way. But you mean to tell me, so here's the lineup. Let's look at the lineup.
There was something I was going to say. Mm-hmm. Before I miss it, somebody asked us to talk about Lovecraft Country. Mm-hmm. Brian Porter asked us to talk about Lovecraft Country. Neither one of us have seen it yet, right?
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
I wasn't going to watch because I thought it was scary, but I heard it's not scary. It's more suspenseful, so I can probably do that.
All right.
And Boundless Book Owl. Side note: can you guys consider doing a review video of Umbrella Academy season 2? I'm down to do it.
I hadn't watched it yet. I told
50% of this group hasn't seen it yet.
I told them him and Lauren could already done this by now.
50% of this group hadn't seen it yet. So.
I am behind. Like I just now finished. I just got to season 2 of Harley Quinn. This is like that's how behind I am.
Whenever 100% of us have seen it, we will do the review.
So
yeah, I enjoyed it.
But listen, here's the panel for tomorrow. Wonder Woman 1984. Okay. Warner Brothers Games Portal. Don't worry about that. It's the Sandman Universe panel.
Don't worry about that.
What I'm saying for this is for HBO Max.
Oh, okay. I was like, what are you talking about?
So you have that. Then you have introducing the Flash panel, Suicide Squad panel. You've got. So that's 3 things. The Snyder Cut of the Justice League panel, Black Adam panel, Ask Harley Quinn panel, Shazam panel, Aquaman panel, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, which is another video game, and the Batman panel at 8:30. Mm-hmm. 5 of those things will go directly to HBO Max when they go streaming. Mm-hmm. Why, who is, and this is why, and I hate doing this, but who is running Warner Brothers? I mean, like, who was making these decisions? Because
isn't it Hamada? Somebody like his last name is Hamada.
Yeah, it's.
I don't know.
He's actually on a panel with Jim Lee and Jeff Johns.
Okay.
The multiverse.
I feel like I want to say Walter Hamada, but I don't think that's right.
It's Walter Hamada, and Greg Berlanti's going to be. So That's the panel I'm actually kind of interested in.
Okay.
Because I want to see what these bonehead idiots got to say. I'm sorry, friend of the show, bonehead idiots.
Can you imagine the day when we finally get somebody on this show and they're like, yeah, oh, that stuff we said, don't worry about that. Don't worry about any of that
Oh, I'll
stuff.
be like, hey, we
you
call
still friend of the show.
I was like, you still friend of the show, but hey, we got a bone to pick with you, man. The hell was going on over here in 2020 in the middle of the pandemic?
Yeah.
And we got, tegus and murder hornets and, meth gators. What is y'all doing?
Meth gator.
But this is the thing. Like, I am actually interested in that panel, but why would you not put this on HBO Max?
And I wish we were more in the loop to know the behind the scenes stuff, because maybe there is a behind the scenes reason and they just don't want to put out what that is. I am curious if we knew more. Question for you guys in the chat, guys and gals in the chat: are you going to be watching FanDome tomorrow? And if you are, how are you accessing it? Because it is not the easiest way to access.
That's what I'm saying. If you had one portal
Yeah.
that you owned, that all this stuff was going to be on,
Yeah.
why are you not using it? It's an easy way to get people to sign up. It's an easy way to get people to watch. And then once they're on it and they see everything else that's on it, they may stay. Mm-hmm. Right now, Disney Plus does not have a lot of people compared to Netflix or anything else.
Yeah.
But they are going to get more, because the only place you can get your Marvel, your Disney, your Pixar, whatever they come out with is on that streaming service. Your Star Wars. HBO has properties that people want to see. You mean to tell me the Snyder Cut, whatever it's going to be, good or bad, because it's either be one or the other. It's not going to be in the middle. It's either going to be great or it's going to be hot garbage.
It can't be in the middle.
Either way, it's going on HBO Max. So why are you not putting it on there to have this panel saying, hey, and then this is the thing. This is what I don't get these streaming services aren't doing, and I don't know why. Leave this stuff on your streaming service, because if you are a nerd or you are somebody who's interested in this stuff, put it on the streaming platform, and then you can go back and watch this stuff. Like, imagine if you watch Harley Quinn, right? You watch the cartoon or the movie, and then they're like, hey, you like this. Why don't you check this out? Mm-hmm. You're still on the streaming platform. That's more content for your channel. And I don't understand why more people aren't doing that kind of stuff. Why does Disney Plus not have a show that's just about Disney stuff on their show? Like going over like these little panels about, like Disney's kind of figured it out with the Star Wars and the making of the Mandalorian. I want to see more of that kind of stuff. I want to see more of the behind the scenes of the costumes. Like Slap, when Suicide Squad goes up there, you have all the costumes and all the things that went into James Gunn making the Suicide Squad, this reboot. Put all that stuff up there. We want to see this. So I'm very happy that we're doing this. I just hate the execution of it.
So what are you looking forward to? Because that is the title of what we talked about. What are you most looking forward to?
I'm really looking forward to, so I'm going to be honest with you. Some of this stuff, and it's going to sound like I don't care about it, but there's stuff that I'm really, really excited about. And the thing that I'm most excited about is the Warner Brothers Games Montreal announcement panel. I'm really looking forward to whatever this surprise DC Comics panel is at 4:45. That I'm really looking forward to. And I'm not looking forward to like the Aquaman and all the other stuff. I'm really looking forward to the games, the comics, and Batman. That, because those are the things that I think, it's almost like Wonder Woman. I know you're going to talk about it. I know it's going to be good. Aquaman, you're going to I know all that stuff is going to be, but I want to hear about the stuff that normally gets left on the back burner. Rocksteady has only done one game during this video game generation. Mm-hmm. I want to see what the new Batman game or whatever this new Arkham game is. I want to see what this new Suicide Squad, what they do. We know it's going to be next gen, so it's going to leave this generation behind. What are they going to use? Is it going to be exclusive to one console or there's so much. And then with the comics, I want to know about that. And then I want to see whether or not Matt Reeves can pull off a new iteration of Batman, because we've seen him in so many different genres in media, how do you make this different again? I'm interested to see that. So
Going through the chat, a lot of people are saying they're going to see it, but a lot of them, and I would assume, I feel comfortable saying a lot of the people in the chat are self-proclaimed nerds. So, but they're confused about how they can watch it,
See,
which I think is I asked that on purpose because they're trying to generate this conversation of they didn't explain how you watch it.
I think
because you have to go to their website.
Yep, you have to go to DC FanDome. Then you have to sign up.
Yeah, and I'm sure you could probably do it through a computer streaming app and then put that into your TV. But that's, for a lot of people to just sit at a computer desk at like a 27-inch monitor is now how you want to watch this.
And that's if you, and this is the thing. Let's say all you have is a tablet, or you have a Chromebook. Again, that's not, and that's why I'm really upset about this. I'm tired of these companies restricting people and not being smart enough to understand. I wouldn't, like, how many people, and not by a show of hands because I can't see it, but how many of you guys and girls have huge TVs? Have at least a 40-inch screen TV, a 50, a 60, 75, whatever the screen. Wouldn't you like to stream that on your TV? You're going to see trailers, clips. Wouldn't you like to see that in 4K?
So when you watch it, sorry, go ahead.
Just, like, why would you limit your biggest event to 27 inches?
Yeah,
32 inches.
Are you just going to watch it purely on your computer, or are you going to try and plug that to your TV?
No, I'm be with the wife. We'll probably go see my parents. I'm gonna be watching it like on my parents' desktop while I do stuff.
Because I'm hoping that I could go on to and use the internet browser on Xbox One to log in and then watch the TV. I'm hoping that would work. I don't see why it wouldn't, but I'll find out tomorrow. But that's what I plan to do. But it does. It's very weird to not. And it's very weird to not just have it on HBO Max. And
again, and that's why I guess I'm irritated with this whole thing, because I love the DC universe and I love I've enjoyed a lot of the stuff that they have. I love DC. I buy more DC comics right now than I do Marvel. When I'm on the comic side, Deceased by the Batman series right now with the Joker War. What's the other thing that I've been reading? Strange Adventures, Far Sector.
As you're talking about comics,
yeah.
BBP asks, question, should comics be the cornerstone of these type of events?
I think they're a part of it. I don't think, I personally, as a bias, yes, I do. But that's not going to happen because DC is slashing money. Warner Brothers is like, no. So, but because we would not have any of this stuff without the source material. So that's how I feel. But I feel like sandwiching the comics between these kind of events, hopefully they understand the synergy. And I hate that freaking word, but
it applies.
It applies to this because without the comics, you don't have the movies. So whenever you have a movie, send the people back to the comics. Like at the end of the movie or before the movie, hey, did you like this? Well, the story continues here at movie theaters. Sell graphic novels. As soon as the movie is over, when people get out of that movie, as soon as people go in and that movie starts, there should be a team of MFers with like stuff, and they should be setting up like little booths and stuff.
And like thinking about going, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Expounding upon that, it's almost like if movie theaters would team up with their local comic book stores, right? Kind of like how we have here with Eric at Scratch and Spin.
But the thing is, he did that.
Right. Yeah, what I'm saying is, if Warner Brothers would think about teaming up with those local mom and pop comic book stores.
You don't even have to team up with them. And I'm not trying to cut out local comics. I'm not. You don't even have to team up. You print the shit yourself. It's just like, you print the stuff yourself. Send them to these huge media markets. Send them to LA. Send them to DC. Send them to New York. Set up kiosks. Whenever you have a major event that comes out, set up those, look at the stuff we buy. You mean to tell me at the end of Shazam, when all those people saw Shazam, and you walked out and you had kids, you ain't gonna sell a graphic novel or a comic to a family?
A little action figure of the Marvel.
Come on!
What's the family called? The people? The Shazam family? Whatever? Yeah.
Come on, And that's why. And the question the person asked was, should comics be the cornerstone? Yes, I feel they should. I feel everything should be an Ouroboros cycle where everything goes back to the comics, because that's how the comics are going to survive, not by selling comics to me, selling comics to a whole new generation of fans who fell in love with the stories they saw on the screen and then go and read the comics themselves. And that's how, like, my brother's now gotten into comics.
Okay.
He's now a comic fan. But again, he's still not the target demographic because he's almost 30. Mm-hmm. So you need kids.
Another question comes from Anne. And Anne asked, what did Anne say? Oh, tell us more about Batman and what to expect, please.
I don't know.
I mean, a trailer, I would assume.
I
feel like you're going to get
a sizzle reel.
Yeah, sizzle reel.
Or teaser.
We know Matt Reeves is going to be there. Is Pattinson supposed to be there?
I don't know if Pattinson's going to be there.
Okay, yeah. I think only thing they've announced in the official synopsis is that Matt Reeves is going to talk about the Batman.
And I'll be honest with you, you probably got a better chance of getting these people in here.
It seems easy.
Because
in a way easier because everything's virtual.
Yeah, and
so you just set up a computer.
Here's the breakdown. The Batman filmmaker Matt Reeves joins host and self-professed fangirl Aisha Tyler for a discussion
Cool.
for a discussion of the upcoming film with a surprise or two for fans. So I'm guessing they're gonna have somebody who shows up and be like, "Yo, this is what we talk about." Pattinson hops in, and then Pattinson's like, "Hey, I brought a trailer." Boom. And then we talk about it, and the whole internet explodes.
I don't think this will happen, but
or Zoe Kravitz. Ooh, I would rather see Zoe Kravitz than Pattinson.
Tenet is also Warner Brothers, right? Or is it not?
Yeah.
Because it would be weird if it was like, here's Batman, also here's something for Tenet. Why not? I know it won't happen. I'm just like, it's all Warner Brothers, it's all connected. Just throw that out there too. I know it won't happen. I'm just throwing it out. Whatever.
I don't know if Chris Nolan would let that happen. But I don't know.
He's been very adamant. Yo, you need to see this in the movie theater.
But see, the thing is, I don't know what Tenet is going to do. I know people have seen it. I know there's a lot of reviews out. It's already got an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm telling y'all, there are certain people, if they do a movie that has squirrels in it, I would watch it. Nolan is one of those people.
Okay.
Denzel does a movie with talking squirrels. Denzel, how much money you want?
How much money you want?
But I think that's my biggest beef with all of these things.
Before we jump around to other stuff, I didn't say what I'm most excited for. I'm excited for the video game ones. WB Montreal working on supposedly Gotham Knights, I think is what they're supposedly it's the title. Court of Owls and Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. I'm excited to see what that is, and I'm wondering, they probably won't address stuff because people don't, but I wonder if they would address the abuse allegations that have come out of Rocksteady since this. I know they won't.
Oh no, you better find your favorite YouTuber for that.
Yeah, but in terms of panels, I do want to hear more about what is going on in the Arrowverse now that Arrow is over and we're kind of moving on to other stuff. And there's a panel called BAWSE.
Yeah, Boss.
And it's a bunch of female people of color talking about what it's like to work in the Arrowverse. I want to just hear from those women. What you're are not the Arrowverse in DC overall.
What I think you're gonna have, and I want to say two things. One, hats off to DC and making everyone feel welcome in their Arrowverse, Flashverse. Funny they call it Arrowverse even though Arrow's over and Flash is the one still going.
I mean, I guess because Arrow started it.
I understand it, but it's like, is it still the Arrowverse if you don't have an Arrow show?
I mean, personally, I say the best show in that whole thing is Legends of Tomorrow, but I want a few people that think that.
The one thing I can say, and I'm not a real big fan, I don't watch it like everybody, like a lot of people do, is it's, you know, like something starts and you're like, I'm going to watch it, and then it snowballs and you're like,
oh yeah, there's just so much to watch now, but like.
You're like, yeah. So I missed out on the boat, and I probably will. The one thing I want to see, and I have seen from DC, and I want to see it from Marvel, and I want to see it from everybody else. We work in a very diverse newsroom. We live in a very diverse society. I like seeing people who look like me, who look like you, who look like Lauren, Alicia, Jenna, Van, Nick. I want to see the way the world really is represented in these things. And DC does a very good job of making sure people of color are highlighted, whoever you are, LGBT, you know, they don't just, it's not just a bunch of white dudes running around in capes. It's a smorgasbord of people.
Yeah.
And I think that is the beauty of why, of part of why those shows and those universes work. Because anybody can turn on that TV and say, if I watch Flash, I can see someone, or I turn on Arrow, I can see someone not just always be a bad guy. I can see somebody kick ass and take names.
Yeah.
So, BPP says no Native Americans though. They're working on that.
That's a good point. You know what?
They are
That's a
working
good
on
point.
that. But the fact that they are getting more and more diverse and allowing for different voices, I have to commend DC for that. In their television shows, sometimes the characters get changed a little bit, and some people, that's not a, and then it dies down because they're like, oh, she's really good. Just like, I'm really excited to see what they do going forward. But I think that is on the September 12th. I think they're going to focus more on movies, other properties, and then the television side is what is coming.
Really highlighted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the day you're going to get a lot of that kind of stuff too.
One thing, I know the Flash panel is happening, and I think the director's supposed to be there, and who's the guy? Ezra Miller.
Yep.
Are supposed to be there. I didn't see Kiersey Clemens.
Real friend of the show.
Yeah, we can say that one. Kinda. He did sing to us. He sang to you. That's pretty cool. Ezra Miller did sing to you.
One, he really is good looking. Two, holy cow, he's tall. Like I had no idea. Like I literally, he's like a giant white praying mantis. Like that dude is tall.
Yeah.
Man.
But Kiersey Clemens, who you may know as Dig from Dope, and she was in Neighbors 2, other movies like that. She's supposed to be Iris. I don't know if she's still attached to the movie anymore.
Nobody knows.
Yeah,
The only
I
person,
hope so.
The only person we know who's still in the movie is Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
That's it. Because remember, it's changed. It's had 4 different directors. Hell, they changed who Barry Allen's dad was.
They did, because in one thing you've seen them in, it's been 2 different people.
And it was Billy Kudrup last time.
Yeah.
So we don't, like, honestly, we have no idea who was going to be in that movie. So that's going to be good. But I think one of the coolest things, and again, there's supposed to be a surprise DC panel. There's a bunch of people listed. We don't know what panel they're going to be on.
Yeah.
We know Michael Keaton is supposed to talk. We know Val Kilmer's involved somewhere. I know Batman Forever has a 20th anniversary this year. We know the chat has been talking about it. Also, Ryan Porter, shout out to Milestone. If you look at some of the promotions for this, you saw Jim Lee Drew, Icon, and some Milestone characters, and this whole smorgasbord of characters with Batman, the new Batwoman. So hopefully we're going to see an integration of not just the Wildstorm characters, because Grifter is going to end up in Batman 90 something, and hopefully we're going to see Icon, we're going to see Static Shock, we're going to see a lot of these Milestone characters in there. We haven't even talked about it. Ben Affleck is coming back as Batman in the Flashpoint whatever.
And Michael Keaton's also in that too, right?
So
or he's in something.
This is what I'm hoping. As everything that 2020 has taken from us, this is what I want. Flashpoint shows us Michael Keaton as an old Batman, and it introduces Batman Beyond, and it gives us Terry McGinnis. 2020 took a lot from us.
Okay.
It took a lot. So give us that back. Give us that. If I have to go another month of hearing some BS or some crazy, if I got to see another riot, I got to see something else, give me Terry McGinnis. Give me a Batman Beyond flick.
Okay.
Give it to me!
D. Stiesel, He says, I think the CW stuff has been the worst, though. I've always gotten 90 Smallville Birds of Prey vibes whenever I try to watch those shows. I won't disagree with you in terms of how sometimes the stuff can look and the effects. Somebody did bring up it's partly budget. It is. You're working with a TV budget. I think if you set your expectations, though, if you can adjust them, which can be hard to do, I think you'll find a lot of enjoyment. And the reason, personally, why I love Legends of Tomorrow is because that show really doesn't care. Yeah. And they're like, let's do a show where we're puppets. Like the whole, like 10 out of your hour show is puppets. They'll do it. The Legends of Tomorrow doesn't care, and that's why I love it.
So, but yeah, we know that there's going to be some people who are going to talk from the movie side, from whatever they've got cooked up, and I'll give them credit. DC has finally just leaned into the fact that the multiverse exists. We have 3 different Batmans we're going to have running around.
TV Flash did meet Movie Flash also.
So,
and,
yeah.
Crisis on Infinite Earths when they did that.
So, I lean into it. This is what comics is about. And in this world that we're living in 2020, where we have so many different things happening that's depressing, it would be nice. And I know we trashed how this thing is set up, but it would be nice to have something happy, to have something wholesome, to see some things, some characters that we love going forward and on a big screen, small screen, or the controller, doesn't freaking matter. Yep. So it would be nice to have that.
I got the okay from Lauren. If you want to say something.
So yeah, guys, this is why I'm upset. I don't know if I can do it now.
Lauren, one of the nerds, is leaving WOTX. Today was her last day at WOTX. She's going to work in Greenville as one of the communications, social media, whatever, for the city of Greenville. So even though Lauren is leaving, we still gonna have her on the show. Yeah,
Lauren's not leaving News 19 Nerds. Lauren will always be a nerd. I don't care what management says. I'm sorry. Don't fire me.
Let's turn this off now. We didn't discuss this. I wasn't ready for this part.
But I don't think they're going to have an issue with it. Lauren's still going to be on the show. Lauren's still going to chime in, talk to us. We're still going to, that's our girl. But for us, on a day-to-day basis, Lauren's not going to be here. Yeah. And that's sad because that was my girl. That was like my little sister that I didn't want, but I loved anyway. Yeah. So it's sad for us. She's still going to be around. She's still going to be doing stuff. But it's just one of those things for us. It is a little sad because today was her official last day. So that's why we're a little upset. Yeah. But she's making bank. Lauren's going to be, she's going to be able to do big things. She's going to be close to her family. So yeah, that's it. We're really are happy for her. And I don't know if I'm old enough to say this, but I'm really proud of her because she's leaving, and it takes a lot to leave this business, and she's leaving. Yeah. And she's doing something that's making her happy. So for that, we say 2020 did give us something. It did good.
Thanks, y'all. I'm still alive, though. Y'all making it sound like I died. You died a little in my heart because I didn't see you all the time.
See what I'm saying? I felt something, man. You happy for somebody, but then you're like, damn. And then you turn it around. It's like, how do you feel? So we happy for her. Yeah. We got mad love for Lauren. Yeah. Lauren.
So she's not here tonight because her internet garbage.
Yeah, she got 3G. She don't got 4G.
She ain't here to defend herself. So that's what we're gonna say. But yeah, we'll see Lauren next week. Sometime, whenever. Yeah. But yeah.
But so no, the fan event, I'm really excited for it. I really want to see what they have cooked up. I'm really hoping to see more about the comics too, because BP says she got 2 bars.
Oh no,
that's funny. Because we don't know what this. So we've all been hearing about this 5G rumor going around where they age up some of the heroes and some of the sidekicks and the kids take over. I don't know how that's going to work. But I'm really interested to see what's going to happen. I want to hear some real-time explanations about what's going forward with the print comics, what's staying, what's going. And I want to see something. I'm not knocking Batman. Batman's one of my favorite characters. but it's time to start highlighting some other people. You got Shazam up there, Aquaman. Go a little crazier. Give us Blue Beetle. Give us Booster Gold. You know.
Somebody who does another comics like you, does that affect the Trinity then if you don't do a lot with Batman and highlight other people? Or like Batman or Superman?
What I'm saying, I guess the thing is, we've all seen Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the Justice League were key, and they did a lot with the main members. But some of the best episodes didn't have.
True.
Some of your best episodes were like Wonder Woman with Stars and Stripes, or Hawk and Dove, or Batman hanging out with Green Lantern, you know, and Flash. It was when you have such a rich, diverse lineup of people, use them. And I would like to see more of that. That's why, as much as I don't watch this Arrowverse, I really appreciate the Arrowverse going. Like they brought Star.
Connor Pearson Ward says, "Wait, so 5G is just young Justice."
See, we don't know. That's what like. We know it's Young Justice, but what else is it? Mm-hmm. So I honestly don't know, and I really want to see what's going on with Justice League Dark. We know that's coming up. Greg Berlanti's Green Lantern show, which, if it's any indication, what they did with Watchmen, Lovecraft Country, The Outsider. Wow, like HBO, and again, why is this stuff not on HBO Max? I don't get it.
I'm sure there's a marketing reason or something that they're not saying.
It's a dumb reason.
I mean, maybe, but there's something they're not saying for whatever, because it's just, you do have to go through a lot of hoops to sign up on your computer and watch on your screen, so whatever.
But BP brings up a good point, and that person reads comics. I don't know if you're a male or female, so I didn't want to say he or she. No, this is the thing that I talked to Efren, our meteorologist, about.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people like really stoked on the Avengers. The Avengers were never Marvel's cash cow.
Yeah.
The Avengers were the B team. X-Men, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four were the money makers for Marvel. But they couldn't use those characters when they first started their Marvel MCU. They had to use Iron Man, they had to use Thor, they had to use Captain America. Characters people knew, but those weren't the main ones. You think if Kevin Feige had all of the characters, he'd have made an Iron Man movie? Nope. But the thing is, you have those characters, and that's he worked with what he had.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things I want to see some of these other characters. I want to see a Titans movie. Mm-hmm. I want to see Damian Wayne on the big screen. So I think that's what I want to see from DC. Go a little more diverse. Go a little more, I mean, people know what a talking tree is now.
They do.
And a talking raccoon.
Yeah. Marvel has done a good job in bringing people who know nothing about comics into comics.
Ray Sean Case said, "Can we start a GoFundMe page for Lauren's Internet?"
That's rough. That's rough.
Oh.
Oh, man.
Oh, I wasn't ready for that. I'm sorry, y'all. I wasn't ready for that. Yeah, so I'm really excited about this. I know DC has taken some hits lately, but I'm really excited for this panel, and there's a lot of people involved that I'm really excited to see. And I kind of want to hear from Jim Lee. Just one of my favorite artists. I hadn't been the greatest editor, but one of the best artists of all time. So yeah.
You want to talk about your 80s?
Well, it kind of segues into this because somebody asked me a question and really wanted my opinion, and it got me thinking about movies since they're going to be opening back up. Mm-hmm. The difference between movies in the past versus movies now. The question was, who was the biggest 80s action star? Out of Stallone, Arnold, Kurt Russell, Bruce Willis, Chuck Norris, Clint Eastwood, Eddie Murphy. Who was the biggest action star?
I'll say this, and we can let the conversation go from there. When you introduce everybody was first and last name except for Arnold and Stallone.
Yeah.
That says something.
And so I immediately Harrison Ford. Sorry.
Yeah.
When I immediately thought about it, I said, "Yo, are we talking just 80s, Or are we talking their entire catalog? And he was like, just 80s, because everybody said like the 80s action star. And when I looked, it's between Arnold and Stallone for me, because they had 7 movies to their name, their biggest hits, some of their biggest hits, and they are pinnacle roles. Kurt Russell's in there as well. Harrison Ford's in there as well. But what really got me was Clint Eastwood had 9, and Chuck Norris had 14.
Yeah.
And you can't name all of Chuck Norris. Like
I told you, like 10 of those 14 were Delta Force movies.
But what I'm saying is, this is the thing: an action star carried, like your star was bankable.
Yeah.
That's what you wanted. It didn't matter what they were doing. You had to have Arnold in your movie. You had to have Stallone. Eddie had to be in your movie. And I'm wondering, who is it today? Like, with movies opening up, and who are you gonna say?
It's The Rock.
And this
Without question.
But this is my thing.
Is he good or bad? That's debatable. But who's the biggest actor? It's The Rock.
But this is the thing. I disagree.
He was the highest paid actor last year.
He is the highest paid actor.
And this year.
He was the highest paid actor. But I would say, as an action star, I would disagree, and I would say Ken from Chicago brings it up. I'd say it's Cruise. I say it's Tom Cruise. As far as the biggest action. Now, granted, The Rock literally is the biggest.
Huge.
He's the literal biggest.
Yeah.
But I would almost say Tom Cruise could rival that, only because all of his movies are action related, over the top, and the one thing I can notch against The Rock, they're actually pretty good. Friend of the show, Rock, I'm sorry.
DJ, man, anytime you want to come on the show, sit down and hash this out with us, please. You can.
There's going to be a room between us, though, because I'm not trying to get
For you
folded
to
up.
bust through these walls. What did you say?
I'm not trying to have him do the eyebrow, do the people's elbow on me on camera. Because that stuff is never going away. That gift of me getting body slammed is going to be just going to rotate.
Yes, this was great. It's hard to say, right? Because you can't. There's no facts around. It's all just how you feel. I will say, I will probably always be in line to see a Tom Cruise movie, especially a Mission Impossible. After 2, and 2 was fine. It was just John Woo trying to be artistic, and it was whatever.
I actually like 2.
I think it's fine.
I like 2.
But I don't think it holds a candle to what the new Mission Impossibles do.
And you know
once
what?
they found that formula,
J.J. Abrams really was the
With
one
3?
with 3.
Yeah.
And then we got the new what's it, McQueen? Or no?
Chris McQuarrie.
McQuarrie, yeah. No, it was some Q. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for. Is this 6 or 7 coming out?
I think 7.
I don't know. Whatever.
Was Fallout 5? 5 or 6?
I don't know. No, because Rogue Nation.
Fallout was the last
6. So Fallout was 6.
Yeah. Okay. So
Rogue
this
Nation
is
was
7.
5.
Yeah.
Ghost Protocol was 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 7. Okay.
So, but I guess that's what I'm saying. Like, I love The Rock as a person, but I don't think he brings anything different to me. The Rock plays the same person every time.
You said you didn't see Stronger?
Yeah, I did.
Or was it Faster? I don't know.
I've seen Faster.
Whatever he was in. I thought he was different than that.
The one where his son he had to be the snitch.
Maybe, yeah.
That's the one I didn't see. That's the only one I hadn't seen of his.
And then the one where he was a gay bodyguard.
Pain and Gain.
No,
but
not Pain and Gain.
Be Cool Part 2.
Be Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was different than that.
But the thing is, he's such an icon now. It's hard for him to do something different. Because I saw Southland Tales twice.
Why?
Because I didn't think it was that bad the first time I saw it. And I was like, I need to see if it really was. And,
okay.
and I'm going to be honest with you, he was different in that movie.
Yeah.
So when I think of an action star, and that's why I brought it up, because when you go back and look at, and this is another thing, some people are bringing up certain names. Go back and look, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Not a lot of 80s movies. Like, if you look
at, like, he was like 90s.
So that's another thing. Bruce Willis had 2 in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Murphy had 5. Again, Chuck Norris had 14 movies in the 80s that were action. Clint Eastwood had 9, and that wasn't even all of them. I'm not even talking about the movie with him and the monkey, or he was a cowboy trying to. So, it's
For me, my favorite.
they're saying it right now.
Who would they say?
Look,
Oh, Jackie?
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm not talking about my overall. I mean, Jackie Chan is my man. That's my dude. But no, I'm thinking of Chuck Norris, and it's not an '80s movie. I want to say it's an early '90s movie. Sidekicks. I grew up with that movie. I am all about martial arts. That's why I love Power Rangers. That's why I love Ninja Turtles. And seeing Sidekicks, where this kid got to envision Chuck Norris was his homeboy,
Yeah.
I was like, yup, that's me.
So-
Sidekicks was my movie.
I would the problem with some of these, and I know you guys say Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
I was going.
We're only listening to Americans.
I'm listing Americans, but I'm also doing the American box office because of that was what the standard was. If you could crack the American box office, I think Jackie Chan and Tom Cruise need to be in the movie together, and I want to see who lives at the end of it. Because you think about it,
They both do their own stuff.
they're going to try to
just do random stuff.
They're honestly going to try to outdo each other.
Do Jackass with Jackie Chan and
That's
Tom
what I'm
Cruise.
saying. Honestly, would you think about it, guys?
I might go to the movies to see.
I would break quarantine to see a movie, a big blockbuster movie with Jackie Chan and Tom Cruise trying to outdo each other.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise did a halo jump out of a plane for a scene.
Somebody brought up Cynthia Rothrock.
Yeah.
I'm glad you did because I forgot that person. And I saw a movie that she did recently. It wasn't great because I don't know when it came out. It was something on Amazon Prime. But I started looking up Cynthia Rothrock. That was a bad fighter. And just she was a badass fighter.
Oh yeah.
She did a movie with Michelle. With Michelle Yeoh. I don't know what it was called. And I've seen a clip of it. I want to find it, but it looked the choreography in that movie looked great.
I think the one of those things, and that's why I said I wondered about movies now because right now, lately, what we've been talking about isn't the actual stars of the movies recently. It's the actual IP. We're excited about the IP. And then they plug in different people. And I'm not going to lie. I miss the idea of going to see a movie because it was that person. And I'm going to be honest with you. One of the few movies this year that I was really excited to see that I would be willing to like, could I live in my garage for 14 days because I saw this in IMAX? It's Top Gun 2. And it's because it's Tom Cruise. Because I know when he sits down and he's like, I'm going to do this movie, it may not be the best, but he is going to go for it. And I was thinking about that. Who is those people who are going to make you say, I got to go see that? And I'm not, this kind of segues not just into action movies, but movies in general. We were talking about Death on the Nile, and we were like, this cast is amazing.
Yeah.
But when you think about some of these movies that are coming out, we're going to see it for the IP, not for these characters. And I think the only one or some of them that have grown out of it, was maybe Robert Downey Jr., who originally was, you saw it for Iron Man, and then as you saw him more, Robert Downey Jr., you were like, I'll go see that. Robert Downey Jr.'s in it.
Yeah, I mean, Doolittle definitely was carried on Robert Downey Jr.'s back.
Yeah.
The movie wasn't good.
No, but it made the funniest thing.
It made a little bit of money because RDJ was in it.
It kept it was almost like the little engine that could because RDJ is in it, and it's one of those things where it reminded me a little bit about the Pirates movie because of Captain Jack Sparrow, aka Johnny Depp. You were going to see it because of Johnny Depp. When they originally I think envisioned the Pirates of the Caribbean movie based on the ride, I think they really envisioned that this movie was going to be this adventure movie with all these cast of zany characters.
Yeah.
And it turned into Captain Jack Sparrow and
Captain Jack Sparrow and his friends.
And his friends.
Yeah.
But that's because of such the over the top portrayal, and I think we're in an IP age. I want to say, is it BP? The IP is more recognition than the personality. And I think you're right, which is weird considering the way and the avenues stars have we have access to them versus the 80s and the 90s. And those years were more personality driven than they are now, which is interesting because each person is like, we're a brand, you know, you're a company. And even though you have these people, and the one person we forgot about and we hadn't talked about was Will Smith is an action star. We were talking
about people in the 80s.
Well, I'm saying but right now, Will Smith is a person who could get some people to the movie, and he just hasn't had a good hit in a while. But Bad Boys 3,
Bad Boys for Life.
Bad Boys 3 got people in the theater, and it continued to make money.
It is still the #1 movie of 2020 in terms of domestic box office.
But he had so many misses, from Gemini Man to Bright wasn't that great. You know, he had a couple of different little movies, but man, them Bad Boy movies.
Yeah, they're making a fourth one.
And the thing is, and again, it's almost like the movie has to basically highlight the personality. And I was thinking, who is a star? And I'm asking you guys, who is a star that if you said that person's in a movie, you would go see it? And tell me why, because I'm gonna be honest with you, The Rock, I love Jumanji, the reboot. I love it. I think it's great. Still hadn't seen the second one yet.
Really?
I just hadn't gotten around to it. I've rented it. I checked it out. It was on a streaming platform for a while, and it just kept falling into the cracks.
It's pretty good.
And
they're able to change the formula.
And but even then, I'm like, yeah. But right there, was it David Cooper? David Cooper, Denzel, because you're right. Denzel talked to some squirrels. Here's $17, Denzel. But for you, who is it? If you like, think about it. Like who? And that's what I said.
You know who? Duh. Sorry. Somebody that we were talking about. This is an '80s action star, and I've talked about this man before in the past when we talked about Netflix stuff.
The Kicking Man.
Yeah. His name is Scott Adkins. I think he's a fantastic martial artist.
The Kicking Man?
Scott Adkins has a bunch of stuff on Netflix. I don't know if they worked out a deal, but he has a bunch of stuff on Netflix. I would see a movie with him in it. Also, on that same token, I'd probably see a movie with a bunch of martial arts people in it. Tony Jaa, I'd love to go see a movie with Tony Jaa.
The night comes for you, man.
Michael Jai White, martial artist, very good martial artist. Also, we talked about him, or I talked about him being underrated in comedy. I think he's good at that too. But give me another Undisputed with like Boyka. Scott Adkins is Boyka, and then whatever character Michael Jai White was again. Give me another one of those.
It's interesting. I watched Triple Frontier only because of who was in it. Because you looked at the star power of those people, and you were like Pedro Pascal, Ben Affleck, Charlie Hunnam, and who else? It was man, I'm missing one person who was in there, but yeah.
People talking about Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes, like the 90s. Wesley Snipes, 90s and 2000s.
Yeah.
That's what I've been wondering. Are we going to have to go back to that? Because right now we're IP driven. And I think coronavirus and the plague, or the pandemic, I'm sorry, has changed how we're doing movies. And I also think that you're seeing more people do stuff on streaming services and platforms. And like right now, Ryan Reynolds is a big star, and people are checking out whatever Ryan Reynolds does.
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth, Extraction. People brought up Charlize Theron, Old Guard, Atomic Blonde, Mad Max, Tom Hardy, Mad Max. Are we going to see a shift going forward with these movies when somebody's going to say, look, I need somebody big to attach to this. What you got? And I wonder if we're going to go back to that. Because everything is cyclical.
Yeah.
And I think right now we don't have a lot of action stars like we had in the 80s. Also think the movies are different.
Yeah.
But that's why I asked who if that.
Because one thing we did talk about, a lot of those 80s action movies are problematic now.
Some of them really are.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh.
Go back,
this is rough.
I
shouldn't like this.
Go back and watch Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Go back and watch Ghostbusters with a critical eye and be like, ooh. Now, some movies, the thing is, if your movie's good, it holds up. Go, and this is another thing. I challenge you to go watch some of these classic movies and find a flaw. RoboCop. the first Predator, Terminator, the first Terminator, the first two Rambos, maybe even the third one. I don't know. But go back and watch
What's the one with the woman who dies?
the second one.
That's not a great look.
I mean,
I feel like she didn't have a lot of agency except to get killed, and then spur Rambo on to kill more people.
I disagree with that only because everybody in Rambo's life dies. So that's why I feel like because the reason why I remember in the first one, he went to go see his friend and then his friend died of cancer. Mm-hmm. And then that's when Brian Denny, he lost his mind and decided he
just wanted a sandwich.
And just poked the bear.
Let that man get a sandwich.
And it's like, bro, you really doing this? Do you not know who John Rambo is?
Yeah.
So that's why but you're right. But some of these old movies, the reason why they can't be duplicated is because they were that good. And they had villains that were that good. You hated Brian Dennehy in First Blood. You hated and loved Hans Gruber in the first Die Hard. Yeah. So I think that's something too we're missing. There's a lot of cookie cutter villains.
Oh, for sure.
And there's not a lot of people who are putting...
Hey, greatest Marvel Cinematic Universe is most of the villains are garbage.
I mean, there are two good ones.
What, Thanos and...
Killmonger.
Yeah.
And Claw. I like Claw. I thought Claw should have made it.
I thought Michael Keaton was good.
Yeah, he was a little... Especially for a kid, he was sinister. He was really sinister.
Yeah.
And Loki, of course, Tom Hiddleston. Yeah. But
you know what? That took like multiple Lokis. Because in that first Thor, I didn't really care about Loki.
I did. Okay. I liked him. I liked him. I think Mr. Smith was a good Red Skull, which I would have liked to have seen more of. I think that's another thing too. Probably part of the problem with our action movies is you have to have someone big enough or great enough to pit them against.
Right.
And I think that's what Indiana Jones and Star Wars had in their villains. Like the villains were the Nazis. Like, how do you get the Nazis?
And also one thing to tie this all back up, and to something we talked about in the past, and bringing up Jackie Chan. One thing that action movies do now with their heroes is most of them are infallible in terms of they don't get hurt. In the 80s, your action stars were getting hurt, so you cared about them.
Man,
Rambo was getting messed up.
Rambo got shot. In Rambo 3, he got shot. He had to pull a bullet, bite the head of the use a knife, poured gunpowder in his side.
Yeah.
Took a stick, lit the stick on fire, stabbed himself, sort of like.
Yeah. I mean, them being in danger made you care about them more. Most people now, I think I've said it, and anybody who's been on the News 19 Nerds panel would agree. I am a huge Fast and Furious fan, but I know, like Vin Diesel, he's infallible.
He caught a car, y'all.
Man, why is that movie not out right now?
He caught a car, y'all.
He caught a car. Why are we not watching Fast and Furious 9 right now?
It's just...
Oh, I can't wait till April next year.
The Rock pushed a torpedo while driving...
That's not the... Yeah, that's cool. The Rock had a helicopter. You remember that? In Hobbs and Shaw?
He stole that from Captain America.
He did. And I believe Captain America do it because he's a superhero. Rock, I love you. Friend of the show, Dwayne Johnson, I love you. You're not a superhero. He grabbed that thing.
Dwayne Johnson would disagree with that statement.
Okay.
But you're right. They were. I love Die Hard. When you see what Bruce Willis went through for a woman who was separated from him, like that's a love story.
Yeah.
I tell people that's the greatest Christmas love story ever. It is. I watch it every year for Christmas. Even got the book, Die Hard Christmas Story.
Okay.
I bought that.
There we go.
You saw what he went through.
Mm-hmm.
Name the last time a hero went through some.
Yeah, I mean it's been a.
I can't remember the last time I saw an action movie.
Going back to your dude, I guess you could kind of make the argument, and maybe Tom Cruise kind of gets hurt.
Tom Cruise gets his ass whooped.
Yeah. There was a turning point though, right? Because there was a point when Tom Cruise was kind of not infallible, but he didn't really take a lot of damage. And then I don't know, something clicked in him. He's like, maybe I can be a little bit weaker.
How many times did they kill Tom Cruise in The Edge of Tomorrow?
Yeah, a movie like that. A movie like Fast and Mission Impossible Fallout, where he's getting beat up by the Asian guy. Him and Henry Cavill getting beat up.
When Henry Cavill did Got them,
Yeah,
got them
like,
guns.
yes.
My man said, whoa. I was
Yeah.
like, ooh.
But seeing them be hurt makes you feel for them more, for sure.
Yeah, and so that's one of the things. And again, the reason why I brought it up is because I was thinking, with New Mutants coming out, supposedly,
You still don't believe it, huh?
Nope.
Next Friday's the date.
Godzilla show up.
It's supposed to be in theaters
I'm
next Friday.
telling you, as soon as them tickets, they're like, movie theaters are open, you can hear, you could be like, is that Godzilla? Yep, that's Godzilla. Yeah, I wonder, are we going to start seeing a change in how we do movies, a change in how movies not just are how made, but who's in some of these movies? Because I think the John Wick movies is the last time I remember your hero getting his ass kicked. Like, he wins.
Yeah,
but
good
I'm
point.
telling you right now, they hit John Wick with a car, man. They cut off his finger. They killed his dog. They hit him with a car.
Yeah, he gets roughed up in his movies.
So I cannot remember the last time you saw someone get effed up in these movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what we're missing in a lot of these movies. And that's why we still go back and watch some of Arnold's stuff. We go back and watch some of Stallone's stuff. We go back and watch these things. I like somebody brought it up, and I wonder if it happened, that change happened, where your protagonist had to be almost godlike, kind of like with Keanu Reeves did in The Matrix, where he became almost like a Superman when he was in The Matrix. And was that the trend? I would really like somebody who's smarter than me actually go and track down and look at when that change happened, when our movie stars got too pretty to get punched.
Yeah. I'll put this to the chat. I don't know if you all answered before and I just missed it. Can you tell me what the movie was with Cynthia Rothrock and Michelle Yeoh? Because I'd like to find that. Granted, I could probably just Google it too, but
You want to see if they know.
I mean, they probably do know. And they can let me know. Also, this is a side note. Brian Gamer, are you playing Avengers again this weekend? I sent you another friend invite on PlayStation. Let me know.
A couple people sent one too.
Send they do?
But I think it's on our Instagram.
What is?
A couple people sent it. That's what you should post. Post it there. Put your gamer tag. Take a picture of, and then post it on the Instagram and say, "This is my gamer tag. Join me." Yeah.
I can work too.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's what we were thinking about. Guys, really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. That's the reason why I asked the question about the action star on the panel. I'm gonna try to come up with something crazy for this weekend. I'm really excited. We're probably maybe Monday.
Lauren, I agree.
What?
I saw your text. I agree.
I think Monday we'll probably try to do like a recap of what we saw and what we like. Cause I told Michael, I said I'm gonna be watching this stuff.
Oh, what got you through the week?
Harley Quinn.
Try to tell him.
It's not that I didn't like it. It took me a while to warm up. Season 1 was really good, but Harley gets on my nerves. It's everybody else I like.
Ivy is fantastic.
Blake Bell is
Yeah.
amazing.
Poison Ivy is great.
And Ron Funches as King
King
Shark.
Shark is really good.
It doesn't make sense
Yeah.
how that works.
It's really good.
It doesn't. And then the guy who's
Is that
that's Barry.
Right. No, but no. What I'm asking is, the first season. That is the one where King Shark gets a little bit of blood and he goes crazy.
Yeah. So like.
Oh, and that is Barry. I just never realized that's the
Yeah,
voice for
Kiteman, yeah.
Okay, cool.
It really bothers me how much I don't like Harley in this. And I love Harley in the Batman Animated Adventures and the Suicide Squad in the movies. She gets on my nerves, but I love Poison Ivy. So there's other characters that I like, and there's other characters I don't like. Like I don't like Two-Face. I loved Penguin. Bane goes back and forth.
Bane is great because they be crapping on Bane.
Like I like
everything is so intense with Bane.
I like him, and then I'm like, that's not why. Why are you treating Bane so badly?
You haven't got. Have you haven't started season 2 yet?
Yeah, I'm on season 2.
What episode?
The chair, where they keep messing with him about the chair.
But the
just caught
Injustice League? Have
Yeah.
they like split up into
Yeah.
different boroughs?
Yeah.
Have you
That's
seen
No Man's
Bainesboro
Land.
yet?
Yeah.
Yeah. You saw Bainesboro? Okay.
So, but that's the one thing I do like, even though I'm a little miffed, and I know it's the nerd in me, I love the fact that they're using actual Batman storylines like Cataclysm, No Man's Land. I like that they're using those things in the show from Harley's point of view. I just wanted those things for me in a new Batman, whatever, gritty version, whatever. But I am enjoying the show. So that's what got me, through the week watching it like it's on, I'm doing stuff, and then I'll sit down and I'm like, man, I really like Poison Ivy.
Great. She only gets better, I think. For me, what got me through the week, still playing Animal Crossing. My island is coming along, y'all. Angel Grove is looking nice. I'm getting all the critters on my island. I'm catching the bugs. I'm catching the fish. I'm setting up a little DIY shop, man. Animal Crossing's killing it. Movie-wise, I watched a movie over the weekend called Basildi. It's a rom-com musical, kind of.
And this is what you try to sneak and get me to watch?
I think it's a good movie. It's on Amazon Prime.
You're terrible.
It is an Indian woman falls in love with a guy, Trinidadian man. I don't know if that's the right nationality.
Call Chris,
He would know. But I think it's a fun movie. Came out a while ago. A lot of fun. Keeping up with my Indian cinema stuff and North Africa cinema stuff. But yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah, I'm going to try to watch Lovecraft Country because it was on HBO Max before it premiered on HBO. Avery was telling us to watch it. I just hadn't gotten a chance to watch it yet. But yeah, it's been a pretty decent week. So I'm glad the weekend is kicked off with this DC FanDome. I'm really excited about it. I'm probably gonna read comics as I watch it.
Yeah.
Because I'm excited to see DC back doing DC things.
All right. So tell these people bye.
All right, guys. BP, IMAX, and Brian Gamer, David Cooper. Ken from Chicago. Trying to scroll up because this computer sucks. Probably should stop saying that. Joe Ellis, D. Steezel, Ryan Porter, IMAX.
Ray Sean K says check our Facebook page.
Okay. Damon Estrada, Joe Ellis, Boundless Book Owl, Connor Pearson Ward. Man, we need a new computer. Remind me to bring mine next week.
Yeah, if we bring the other one, we do have new computers. We just don't bring them.
Lauren, as always. I'm trying to think. Did I miss anybody? I think I got everybody.
Did you say Ann?
Yep.
Okay.
Going through. Antoine Allen, I'm sorry. Zayla Maru. This mouse keeps sticking. Like it won't let me scroll up. David Cooper. I'm going to put a new poll up and ask you guys what you're more excited about this weekend. Which one, and then we'll talk about it Monday. But yeah, guys, we really appreciate it. Be safe this week. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.